Hello everyone, in this video we're going to be building a dollhouse in The Sims 4. This is inspired partially by some of the Barbie dream houses that have been released over the years, but I also was thinking about my own Barbie furniture when I was a child, and so I tried to have stuff like, for example, the children's bunk bed with the desk underneath, because I had one that was like that. The one was purple and white, I think, and it also had a closet. And I tried to recreate that vibe slightly. But now we're going to be working on the bathroom. For this room I was thinking about how many Barbie playsets have lots of decals and a lot of the detail is just illustrations. So I thought about adding this ledge and have actual stuff that is 3D on it. I thought that it was realistic for this stuff to be against the wall. And to create that ledge I just used a few side tables. I used the ones from Parenthood. And in case you're curious about how good this bathroom is for privacy, it is alright as long as nobody is in the hallway. But if you have Sims in the actual bedrooms, you won't have any embarrassment issues with the bathroom. I tried to only add stuff that looked like it was made out of plastic or simple shapes, or like it could have some stickers to give it details. So, for example, the back door and the fence looked kind of plasticky to me, or like some stuff that I have seen actual dollhouses have. So now I am decorating the child's closet using these shelving units from Dream Home Decorator and the shoes that came with that bag, but I am scaling them down by one. I also added a backpack and a fox basket. I really like that basket. I think I use it in most of my child's bedrooms. Now I have switched out that desk and replaced it with the one from Discover University, and I think that worked a lot nicer in this space. Now we're going to be working downstairs, starting with the kitchen. I really wanted there to be a big window because in dollhouses there's often like really big cutouts in the plastic. I suppose that they do that so that they are cheaper to make. And since I had a half wall in there, I decided that it would be best if this house had only a mini fridge. For the moment it is pink, but I make it white later. But I still kept the stove pink, and I also used pink chairs. Since this house is really skinny, it is only 45 tiles in total, so it qualifies as a tiny house. And that is partly because of how narrow those dollhouses tend to be. And as a result of that, I was only able to fit one couch in the living room, but since I made this house for a maximum of 3 Sims, I don't think that's really like a problem. And if you would like to download this build, it is on the gallery under my ID, which is Veranio. And if you are enjoying this video, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't. For the roofing, I was thinking I wanted to use this very traditional roof shape, and I wanted this one to be sort of hollow, so I just pushed out the eaves on the front, and it still isn't as thin as I wanted it to be, but I think that's as close as we can get to what I wanted in The Sims. I also decided that I wanted to switch out the bed that I had for this one from Discover University, and I did make sure that this house was fully functional, and so I think that in the finished version I had to push the bed a little bit further back into the wall, but there aren't any routing issues with the bed and the hallway. Even if this is such a small space that I had to use these shelves instead of actual bedside tables, but I didn't mind that because it allowed me to use a lot of clutter in here. And since I had changed the orientation of the bed, I was able to hide the headboard inside the wall and use wallpaper to create a new headboard, so that looked kind of like a sticker. I also added a shelf next to the bed under this painting. And now we're going to be working downstairs a little bit. I added some decorations to the walls and a flower to the kitchen table, as well as some aprons and all of those things that you normally find in those stickers that are pasted to this kind of playset. And since I was using a lot of pink and white and this kind of pastel palette, I also wanted to use one of those knitted mailboxes that you can get from Nifty Knitting. Those are kind of a bit over the top and I almost never use them, but I think this was the perfect opportunity to use them. I also wanted this build to have a backyard because I was thinking about how they often make those printed playmats that have like a fake pool and some space for loungers or maybe a garden. So I tried to channel that with these dance floors that have a very similar texture to the flooring that I was using. And I really liked how that space turned out in the end, but I didn't come back to it for a while. One of the things that I added later was a turtle decal to the bottom of the pool, but I was just remembering that I wanted to add some lighting into the house, and then I thought that I wanted to add some more detail to the house, so I added some stairs to separate the house from the street without it looking so abrupt. And I also added a spandrel to the bathroom so that I could add some curtains and it looked like they were hanging from somewhere and not just floating. And I also added some curtains to the main bedroom. Then I thought that it would be cool if the house had actual windows, so I added some to the living room, especially because that wall was looking a bit strange. And I also added some planter boxes outside the primary bedroom's window, as well as a spandrel so that it looked a bit more intentional. I also added these beaded curtains to the living room. I really wish those weren't classed as wall decorations and they were in the normal curtains section, but oh well. And I also added some stuff from Nifty Knitting, like the cactus and the llama. I thought those looked kind of like toy accessories, and maybe the knitted cactus was an actual knitted cactus that somebody had made for this playhouse. So that was what I was thinking. And for the landscaping in here, I wanted to add something that looked like it would belong here. Normally this kind of playset doesn't have like 3D landscaping unless it is made out of cardboard. So I used these hedges that look really geometrical because I thought maybe they looked like they were made out of folded cardboard. And as I was thinking about this, I realized that it would be cool to actually use some of the decals that come in the game, such as these cats and the trees, and I thought that it would be interesting to add actual 3D cat balls. I could have added a decal of the football, but I thought that it was realistic for some playsets to come with accessories for pets and not come with pets, which is kind of annoying, but they do that. And I also added a few more of these windows, and since the bathroom didn't really have space for a window, I added these rectangular lights from Get Together that kind of look like windows, and if they don't, at least they look like they make sense with the shapes that are here in the back of the house. And now I think I just add finishing touches, which takes me a while. Some of those are changing the wallpaper behind the headboard for one that made a little more sense to me, add some stones leading towards the house. I thought those looked kind of like decals or cutouts, so that's why I picked those. And I also wanted to move these fairy lights to some place that looked like it was actually holding them up. I added some more lights and changed some swatches and the placing of some stuff. I also thought that it would be really cool to add some light switches that I sized up, because maybe this house actually does have batteries or something that allows you to turn on the lights and maybe listen to some sound effects from the kitchen or the bathroom. I also thought about adding some shelving and some more wall decorations in the kitchen because it just felt like it was a little bit empty. I had mentioned this before, but I do not like empty spaces in The Sims. They might be realistic because oftentimes houses don't have every single nook filled with stuff, but I really love when there's a lot of clutter and decorations, or maybe not a lot of them, but a realistic amount. But anyway, I just added one of these trees that look very geometrical, like something that came out of a mold. And that's pretty much it for the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.